This is Spoken by Elswith, a Femdom Hypnosis podcast, Season 4. Welcome to Episode 2. Because I know that you are an obedient one, I know that you've spent some time with the new trigger setting session. You know the one that takes you twice as deep. And maybe due to clarity, and perhaps lacking a little bit in creativity, we're going to simply refer to it as the Season 4 Deepening Trigger. Because hey, that's what it is. On Friday, in Episode 3, I'll be giving you another trigger setting session with a different, but very important and foundational purpose. That's what we're doing right now, laying foundations together, right? Now, before I reveal the secret, the big secret to how to be amazing with erotic hypnosis, let me tell you a story. I promise it's not too long. It's one of those non-fiction stories that sounds like fiction, but I find it fun to share. I used this one quite a bit back when I would do hypnotherapy sessions, and clients would come in and they would be like, oh, can you make me give you, my wallet or the codes to my bank account or whatever else, these big outlandish things. It was always that. It's always money related. Nobody's like, ooh, what if you take advantage of me? Granted, I might hear that a bit more from you. But is it really taking advantage of you? So, you know how there used to be, or maybe they're still going about, those TV programs where you have the stage hypnotist, or usually they're billed as a magician that will go out and hypnotize like this crowd of people to do this thing that you would expect these people would never do, right? In one, he goes to a public swimming pool. I think it was a hotel swimming pool. And he tells the people he's going to do this hypnosis experiment. Now, the people not into it, they leave, okay? That's important to know. Just like if somebody turns on this podcast and they're like, ooh boy, that ain't for me. They leave, okay? Now, after he tells the people this, he doesn't tell them what he's going to do. It is important that when he does say he's going to do the experiment, he does say that if they're not comfortable following, outrageous suggestions, they should go. So this does mean that the people left there are those willing to be a bit outrageous. He tells the remaining people to close their eyes and keep them closed, no matter what. He talks to them and gives them suggestions about feelings of comfort and security. He walks them through how to bring those feelings to the surface. And he continues to reinforce those feelings throughout the session. Comfort, security. Then, he tells the people to remove whatever they're wearing on top. And then, whatever they're wearing on the bottom, And at this point, at this pool, you just have a bunch of naked people with their eyes closed. Then, reminding them to keep their eyes closed, they're told to redress, putting on their bottoms and putting on their tops. Only then, when everyone is dressed, he tells them to open their eyes. Now, it's interesting that there was this feeling of group security. No one was present who didn't want to participate, much like what we're doing here, right? They had these suggestions of comfort and security that helps put off any unease they might have. Does that sound familiar? And now, while you might think, oh my goodness, this is shocking, outrageous, what this hypnotist did, here's the thing, and here's why I think when you look at it from a different point of view, not the TV whatever point of view, there's almost an interesting kindness in there and a bit of wisdom that no one was hurt or embarrassed. Everyone felt comfort and secure. And here's the other thing. Everyone that participated in this knew they did it. They were aware of the trust they put in. They did this thing which the average person would never do. And they were actually better off for it. And so I love that. I love that different way of thinking, and I know that is why hypnotherapy is so powerful. It lets someone experience these wins in life, right? Even before they actually go out and experience the win. It's the same for what we're doing here. Yes, maybe you're not quitting smoking. If you want to, ask and I'll give you a session for that. Free. But it's more of you are experiencing wins. You're experiencing how to think about yourself, think about pleasure, experience an FLR without, scary repercussions that could happen, to experience some of your fetishes that even though you could do them in everyday life, maybe it's not the right time or place. Or for some of those fetishes that you know you can't because reality does have certain boundaries we have to follow. With this, with erotic hypnosis, oh yeah, you can. We can. And I love that. So, that's my story. That's why I think what this hypnotist did was fantastic. And I know the average person doesn't get it. They just see the shock value of people undressing, right? They don't get what those people got inside of themselves. Now, after I have told you this, you might be fascinated and feel a strong compulsion to listen to every session, starting from the beginning, or worry that somehow you're missing out on something. Don't worry. Season 4 is all about being exactly where you're meant to be. I'll tell you what you need to catch up on, and usually that's going to be through the episode note links. You may have to go to the website to find those, or by re-releasing what I feel is important to this experience. And doesn't it feel great to be starting right here, staying on track with me. Giving you direction is just one of those good things that I often give you. So, let me tell you how to be very good at hypnosis. Are you ready? Okay. Follow my suggestions. Were you expecting something different? You do realize this isn't just erotic hypnosis. It's also a bit of an FLR. And so for both of those, to get the most out of it, following my suggestions is the way to go. See, it's simple. If I suggest a thought, then you think that thought. If I suggest a feeling or emotion, then you bring forth that feeling. And if I suggest a belief, then in that instant, you imagine that it's absolutely true. On Friday, episode 3, I'm giving you a reward. But it is important to note that reward has 3 questions in it. Now that we've covered the big secret on how to be amazingly good at erotic hypno, the answers to these questions make perfect sense. As a little gift for today, I'll tell you the questions and answers now, and you can practice reciting them a few times. Consider it your task for today. A task can definitely be a gift for a submissive man. And my clever one, you may have guessed it. The permissive circumstance for today is if you know the answers already before I give them to you, you have my permission. I like rewarding sharp minds. Now, if you're new and you want to complain that it's somehow unfair, take a really good long think over that before you send me a message. Okay, ready? What must you do? I must obey. And who do you obey? I must obey Elsewith. How much do you obey me? I must obey completely. I'll continue to say the answers for you a couple more times, and then it's all you. What must you do? I must obey. And who do you obey? I must obey Elsewith. How much do you obey me? I must obey completely. What must you do? I must obey. And who do you obey? I must obey Elsewith. How much do you obey me? I must obey completely. And now, just the questions. You know the answers. What must you do? And who do you obey? How much do you obey me? Well done. Okay, I will see you again on Friday for episode 3, and I expect you to come along and collect your reward.